get started here.
This Week in Rage.
I'm angry. What a dick. I pay taxes, bitch. What?
Number 5.
That IKEA mascot, the Allen Wrench. First off, just a quick tip to everyone who's starting a business. You don't need a mascot. I don't believe when you go down to the city and apply for a license, you need a mascot. Just like all you crappy places that have a horrible jingle. There's no law that says you need a jingle. A good jingle is good. A bad jingle, worse than no jingle. And I say the same with the mascot. Plus, you're a Swedish company. How about you tear a page out of the Swiss Miss hot chocolate book and give me a hot chick, hot blonde with some braids? Does that ever get old? You know what I mean? Put her in some lederhosen, have her walk around that place, the Svenska Flicka. I want some help from her. I don't want some big old gay Allen Wrench. And by the way,
Lederhosen.
I know it's going to sound anti-Semitic, but that's the most Jewish mascot there is. It's just like a one huge nose. That's all I see when I see that mascot come. It looks like a rabbi chasing me down the furniture aisle. I don't like it. It is unnecessary. You are from Sweden. You have meatballs, which would be an awesome mascot. Maybe not practical. Mascot can't get into the van. Why not? Mascot can't make it through the 42-inch door. All right, but a delicious mascot. And by the way, imagine if you were stoned and ran into the giant Swedish meatball mascot.
Mascot got ravaged by wild dogs.
Dawson was chasing around with a giant spork. Like he's on an island in a Bugs Bunny cartoon where the guy turns into a pork chop. Yes, either go with the Swedish meatball or better yet, go with the super hot chick, or how about both? Spicy blonde leaning up against delectable meatball. But Allen Wrench, and by the way, your mascot reminds me of the work I must do to assemble your product. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want people to think about the fact that they're doing the work.
Right, like you go to IKEA, you go look at the bedroom set, and you go, that looks awesome, and then what shows up in your house is 90 pounds of particle board in a box that's 3 inches thick and 9 feet long, and you're like, what the F? And then the mascot comes out of the box, which is an Allen Wrench, and you go, God damn it, I have to use this mascot for the next year to put this thing together. I don't want to think about it. Yeah, it'd be like, hey, we got a hospital, and our mascot is a chemo bottle. No, how about you be a lollipop?
Right, or a tombstone.
That's right, a tombstone.
Number 4.
The people who register for a honeymoon at their wedding. I don't like this. Like I said, I put it right up there with powdered milk. If you can't afford milk in a liquid form, pull out, would you? You know what I mean? You shouldn't be having kids. And if you can't put together $2,300 to get to Puerto Vallarta for a long weekend, maybe you guys shouldn't be tying the knot. I don't want to pay. I'll buy you a crock pot or chafing dish or a toaster or a gift certificate at Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't want to pay for you to rape your wife over the long weekend. Yes, I called it rape.
Usually it's consensual at that point in the marriage.
If a guy's on top, it's rape. That's what I was taught.
That's a broad definition.
Yeah, that's the way I roll. And if there's any booze involved, and we know there is, if you're on a vacation, well, then that's rape. So the point is I don't want to underwrite your rapecation. You go ahead and register at Crate and Barrel. Let's call it a day, Pori, or don't get married.
Number 3.
American Standard. I haven't checked it out, but I would guess the biggest producers of toilets and urinals, at least commercially, is a company called American Standard. I don't like whizzing into anything that says American on it. You know what I mean? Cuban Standard, Russian Standard. That I could take a whiz into, even German or French Standard. But American Standard, I feel like I feel like I'm giving Betsy Ross a golden shower. I really do. I feel that un-American. I feel like a turncoat. I feel like Benedict Arnold just left the bathroom. And don't get me started on the number 2s. I don't like that. And how cool would it be if you were staring into something that said Hitler's mom? You know what I mean? And then just whizzing all over it. Do you know what I'm saying? How about we give our toilets a cool name, or better yet, Mike, write this down, the urinal cakes with a cool name on it. You know, Osama bin Laden's head. Yeah, there's Osama. Mouth wide open. Knock yourself out, Americans. Hope that your urethra's rifled. Hold on, write that down, too. Home urethra rifling kit. Yeah. Because, by the way, mine's coming out like wiper spray.
Number 2.
Magazine rack don't stand a chance at the Ace Man's bathroom.
Number 2.
I'm split like a divining rod. Everywhere but the toilet.
2.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you want to talk about doing number 2? No. What? I understand. Oh, Megan. Yeah, Megan Fox. Well, she's foxy, but she don't know squat about cars. Now, let me explain something. I like the Transformers. But speaking of Transformers, that's what movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to transform hot chicks into smart chicks. And it ain't easy to do because you have to have Nicole Kidman playing a Russian ballistic scientist or something, and you normally don't buy it. But if the dialogue is good and it's believable and it doesn't bump you, well, then you can go along with the super, super hot, tatted up Megan Fox as being a grease monkey and a bit of a wrench turner, even though she's only a 17-year-old high school sophomore. But then this scene happens in Transformers. Let's play it. She pops the hood, by the way, of his car.
Whoa, nice headers. You've got a high-rise double-pump carburetor. That's pretty impressive, Sam.
Yeah, she's a real car expert, except for the part where I was staring at an engine that was 4 Weber side drafts and side draft intake manifold. Not a high-rise, like she said, and not a double pump. What she's talking about is a Holley double pumper. She's talking about 1 4-barrel carburetor, 1 4-barrel carburetor that sits atop a high-rise manifold. You know when you see the hot rods and you see the hood scoop and you see the carburetor hanging out of the top of the hood scoop? That is a high-rise manifold, and what sits atop it is probably a Holley double pumper carburetor. What you don't see is what we saw in Transformers, which is 4 side draft Weber carburetors in a bizarre configuration, very exotic for V8 standards, but very inaccurate when it comes to riding movies. So, if you're trying to do a movie where the hot chick who doesn't know anything about cars, because I know Megan Fox knows nothing about cars, and by the way, is there one straight guy on the set? Is there one guy that grew up in the valley? Is there one guy that doesn't eat goat cheese and pine nuts who could raise his hand and go, you are not looking at a double pump high rise there. You are looking at 4 side draft Webers in a totally different intake manifold. Look it up. You guys will know what I'm talking about. I want to believe Megan Fox, who probably knows nothing about anything because she's so hot, knows something about cars, but guess what? I just found out she knows nothing about cars, and when she then goes on to explain why she knows so much about cars, because her dad was a grease monkey and she used to be able to tear apart a transmission and rebuild it herself, I now know she's lying. And this is a Hollywood movie, and some half a F wrote this script, and I'm bumped and pulled out.
Number 1.
Although I wouldn't pull out a Megan Fox. Number 1, 58% of you, the cross-dressers, the mohawk wearers. You know, you guys with the super aggressive piercings, you guys that like to hang lots of hoops out of your lips and like to have the bone going through your nose, or the he, she, or the dude who likes to wear the skirt, or likes to have the huge mohawk, or likes to dress like you're in The Cure. You're just the guy who wants to wear a little eyeliner. That's all. All you want to do is put on a black duster and a little eyeshadow and go hang out by the jock lockers. That's all. And then we take notice of you, and guess what? We don't want to hire your ass. And guess whose ass we want to kick when you've been hanging around our lockers? Why? Why, man? Don't judge me just because I'm different. By the way, we shouldn't judge people that were born different. That's not their fault. You spent a whole bunch of money and time making yourself different so we could judge you, and then you could be a victim. And then you could go, don't judge me because I'm different. Yeah? How about you toss on some Dockers in a Kennington and I'll stop the judging there, Prince Albert. But when you show up with the safety pin hanging through the lip and the Nazi tats up and down the arms, yes, you will be judged. We cannot stop judging, but that's just the way you like it. You're just too much of a hypocrite and too much of a pussy to admit it. Look, your stepdad did something horrible to you in the basement 20 years ago. That's your problem. Stop making it mine.